Alright, welcome to my day 72 progression guide. We finally have got a level cap, but it does not look like we're able to get to 80. We're only able to reach level 72 for the max level. But I do believe that maybe Saturday or Sunday we might get another level increase, so you want to keep that in mind. But starting out, you want to go to your artificial island, and you want to go back to build, and then you want to hit claim, because remember, you can only hold these resources for 24 hours, and with Vera out, it's very easy to forget. I also wanted to point out that even though it says that the enemies respawn every Monday at 5 a.m., we're still on the current week for our enemy respawn. So for example, my bosses respawned today because the last time I killed the bosses were on Thursday. So that means that my common enemies are most likely going to respawn this Saturday. So what I ended up doing was leveling up my houses. I got my pawpaw house to level 9, and I'm leveling up my pumpkin house, and I'm going to level up my machine pod once my common enemies respawn. And for anyone who was wondering if the exchange store reset, it did not, which I kind of figured, but I wanted to at least show you guys. But besides that, I would do Mia's kitchen and then go ahead and do your bounties. And I wanted to talk about the bounties. When you log in, you're going to have a choice to either choose Vera bounties or regular Aspera bounties. Now you can do either one, you're going to get the same amount of rewards. So depending if you don't have a lot of time to explore Vera, you might want to do Aspera because it's just going to be easier. But if you're going to be exploring Vera anyway, you can just go ahead and choose the Vera ones. So first, let me go ahead and tell you how you get to Vera. Once you log into the game, you want to go ahead and get to an Omnium Tower. Then you want to go to Hykeros. And once here, you want to go ahead and run up and go towards the left. And then about right here, you should see Claire. And you're going to talk to her. Once you talk to her, she's going to pretty much activate the portal to where you can go to Vera. So I want to go ahead and mention one little minor spoiler. Once you get into Vera, you're going to just follow the story quest, and eventually you're going to get on Nemesis, and you might be like, how do I take down this boss I can't fight or shoot or anything? What you need to do is just stand there and let Nemesis shield absorb the energy that the beast is shooting at you, and then you're going to reflect it back. You do that about 2 times, and then you're able to get past that part. I know a lot of people had issues, so I wanted to explain that. Now let's talk about Vitality. As we know, the Executor Trials have ended, so starting with joint operations, for today we got access to the boots, so you could consider doing these, but I do want to point out that at 75 we do get another joint operation, and we are requiring more materials to level up our characters, and we did get an increase on materials we can get from Dimensional Trials and Stargates. So what I'm recommending is that you might want to focus on doing Dimensional Trials and Stargates until we reach level 75, and then we can just have the better joint operations. So starting out with Interstellar Exploration, and I also want to point out that if you end up leveling to level 71 before you enter Vera, it will change your Stargates over to the upgraded version. As you see, these are all 1 Stargates, but I'm getting basically level 3 Stargates worth of materials just for 1 stars. So as you can see, if you end up getting a 2 Stargate or a 3 Stargate, it's going to be very powerful. So I suggest that you just kill a boar or something before you come into Vera, so that way you might be able to get like a level 3 Stargate, which would be very ideal to do. Unfortunately for me, all I got are 1 Stargates. So now let's take a look at Dimensional Trials. One thing I want to point out is that they already choose the highest difficulty for you at difficulty 6, and the rewards are really good. We get quite a bit of materials, and this is going to really help when you're trying to level up your characters. So again, what I recommend is that if you have a level 3 Stargate, that's number 1. If you have a level 2 Stargate, you probably want to consider that. But if you don't have any level 3s or level 2s, you probably just want to do Dimensional Trials. But one thing I also do want to mention is that if you're feeling lucky, you can consider doing Omnium Beacons, because if you can get a gold Omnium Beacon, that's going to probably be better than a 3-star. And space-time domains, if you need money, go ahead and do it. And with it being a new update, it doesn't mean that we're not going to have any issues whatsoever. If you go to news, you can basically find out the issues that we're currently facing, so you can go ahead and just read through this and see if any of these apply to you. If they do, you're going to get compensation for that specifically. And unfortunately, I noticed that some new players aren't able to get in Vera, but at the very least, you are getting 500 dark crystals for your trouble. I also wanted to point out that they are doing a Midas buy promotion. So if you're going to end up topping up with some Tanium, I recommend that you get the $100, because it looks like this bonus is only for a one-time purchase, and you want to try to get that 700 dark crystals. And I wanted to mention, like, for some of the people that felt that some of these things were just a little too tedious, like going to the black market and doing Cedes Island, it looks like we might not have to do this no more. So if you notice right here, it looks like 2.0 characters get 1/10 of the gifts from a Spera. So you need to get special gifts located in Vera to give to the 2.0 characters if you want to awaken their skill, which does hurt because if you got Ruby and you're trying to run a fire team, you're going to probably want to get her awakening. So if you have all of your 1.0 characters fully awakened, or if you have all of the ones that you want to awaken, you can stop doing your trainings, your black market, and your Cedes Island. But remember, once they are fully awakened, you generally get more gifts from the character, so you might want to just go ahead and do it. But even though that we don't have trainings, there is another thing that we need to do daily, and that is this Mirroria fun zone. And by completing these, you're going to get Mirroria, which you can use to get more gachapon rolls. So you definitely want to try to do those, and you can do 6 a day. So here's the location of the fun zone machines. There's one over here, and there is one right here. But this one I feel is kind of difficult to get to, so I'm going to kind of show you how to get there. So if you get over to this edge right here, so this is where I am on the map. So try to get over here, and once you land on the edge, you want to walk and go down this corridor, and then you'll find the fun zone machine right here. The other 2 are in the next location over. They're pretty much like right next to each other. And the last 2 are in the next section right down. There's one in the middle, and there's one down by the edge right here next to this bridge. So hopefully that helps you. You're able to get all 6 knocked out daily. And then we have the weekly tab. And as you see, it did reset and they updated the rewards. We can essentially get our regular type 3 chips that we already had. And on top of that, there are 2 of these new chips which we use to go fight the bosses in Vera. And they're going to give us our new booster modules and advanced modules on top of some dust which we can use to purchase the new equipment piece. So you definitely want to make sure that you do that and try to knock that out probably sooner rather than later. Which brings us to our challenges. Now again, if you're trying to do something like the Bygone Phantasm, our Frontier Clash, you might want to use your Midas Kitchens to power yourself up. So starting with the Bygone Phantasm. As I was saying earlier, it does look like these rewards did increase. So before, all I was able to get was just these modules and crystal dust, but now I'm able to get 100 dark crystals on top of it. So hopefully you didn't claim your rewards from last week. As I was saying, you want to first do Sequential Phantasm, try to get as many points as you can. Once you do that, then you want to probably do the regular Bygone and try to climb a few floors. Next we have Frontier Clash, and as you notice, you're able to do all of your attempts at once. So you can just wait until this gets 3 attempts and knock it out all at one time. But for some random reason, they decided to change the enemy buff to where it's actually flame resist, which is kind of funny because Ruby is a new character, she's flame. So at least I can do more damage with my Volt team, but for those Ruby pullers, kind of hurts. Then we got Void Rifts, and again, you can do the same thing. You can just do all your attempts in one go. But again, if this is a first time boss for you, you want to probably go ahead and knock that out. Then we have the Wormhole. Now the only thing that looks like it's different here is that it's showing at 75, we're going to get another Wormhole, but it's still, we have 4 days to complete this current one. Looking at it, it's still somehow flame vulnerability. Doesn't look like it's Volt immunity. I thought it was Volt immunity before, but it looks like this flame just never goes away. So for the people that did roll for Ruby, at least you have this. And raids. Now, I wanted to kind of give another warning about raids. So we're not through the end of the week. And I know we didn't get that level 80 increase, but that doesn't mean that we might not get another level increase later on. I'm kind of thinking maybe Saturday or Sunday we might get another level increase, and that will allow us to do this hard mode right here. So you don't want to use up all of your attempts before the end of the week. So I kind of recommend that you try to wait till Sunday before you decide to do all of your raids, but you can probably go ahead and knock out this raid right here. Then of course we have Apex League. If you're trying to reach Grand Marshal, you might want to put a couple hours in each day. Then we have our daily buys. So you want to go to shop, hot, then buy your 2 vitality solutions. Now again, this is only if you can afford it. Then again, I wanted to go ahead and point out the limited gift pack because of Ruby's here. We have this reset and we can buy more of these. So if you're trying to roll for Saki or Lynn or someone in the future and you're putting in a couple hundred a month, you might want to pick these up as well. Next, let's talk about the commissary. Now this is where things have changed. So starting with the Crystal Dust store. Of course, we want to buy our advancement modules and our booster modules for the week. As I was talking about earlier, with training, black market, and Cedes Island, we now have the Vera special gifts. So if you're trying to awaken some of those 2.0 characters, I recommend that you do this every week, especially since there's only a weekly limit, so you probably want to stack that up. So far I haven't seen anything to where we get these special gifts, but I'm sure there's going to be events or other things that we can do. But right now, this seems to be the only way. But another big thing is we want to make sure we buy this Potent Omnium Crystal 2, and it has a weekly limit of 1, so we got to make sure that we get at least 2,500 gold dust, so that way we can buy this. So be careful, don't just go around and buy a bunch of gold gear without getting your Potent Omnium Crystal. But once you got your Potent Omnium Crystal, then you can consider using your gold dust. And again, I still recommend the same thing. First, you want to buy some boots. If you have a good pair of boots, then you can buy some handguards. If you have a good pair of handguards, then you can buy whatever else you want. But again, final warning, make sure you buy the Potent Omnium Crystal. We only have a couple days left in the week. Then we have a new store, the Space-Time Store. Now this is where you can buy the new combat engine, which is going to help increase the power of our character. And how you do that is basically by fighting world bosses. That seems to be where you get this currency. I fought 1 and opened up the box and I was able to get 14. So it looks like you need to do that a couple times. Also, if you do the raids, you can get some of this golden dust also. You do want to make sure you do your raids and fight your world bosses every week. But again, like I said, be careful with the raids. You want to kind of maybe wait till Sunday. And these two just looks like they kind of help give you experience, and this is kind of like the budget combat engine, so I probably will avoid getting these for now. Then we got the crew store. Remember, the only thing you want to buy are relic shards, and the relics that I recommend are Space-Time Rift, unless you have a level 3, or Omnium Shield. And how you get crew points is by doing your daily donations and by knocking out your 4 missions for the week. But I also wanted to point out one little thing that they added here. You can now abandon quests. So right here, I chose password chest. I can abandon that. Then I can be like, you know what? Now that I'm in Vera, I can do password chest. So I'm going to go ahead and accept this. And then you just knock out your 4 missions for the week. Then we have the support store. So as you see, it has changed. You can get a couple emotes right here. So if you have some extra support points, you can go ahead and buy that. I have quite a bit. I was kind of hoping that I could transform my support points into this new support point system, but it doesn't look like it, unfortunately. You want to make sure with your regular support points, you buy your joint supply chips. And then you probably go ahead and just get these emotes and whatever else you want. But you also probably want to help some returning players, because that seems to be the only way that you're able to get this. And it gives you quite a bit of good stuff. You can get some energy crystal dust. You can get a proof of purchase, and you can get a gold nucleus. So I probably say at least try to pick up that proof of purchase and that gold nucleus every week, and then just try to buy as much energy crystal dust as you possibly can. And the last thing I wanted to point out about trainings, the point store. I was hoping we had a Vera special gift in here, but unfortunately it is just for Aspera. But besides all that, mainly you want to spend most of your time in Vera. There is a lot to explore and a lot to do. Mainly you want to just be using your password chest all up in Vera, getting that currency, trying to do some gachapons. But I also wanted to quickly talk about Ruby. Kawasa was nice enough to test her out. He did all the way from 0 stars to 6 stars, so she actually looks pretty strong, and I think you can maybe just pick her up at 0 stars, and she would probably be pretty strong for your account to maybe have like a budget fire team. So I ended up doing a couple roles myself, so you can look forward to that. On top of that, Kawasa has been nice enough to allow me to stream his stream on Twitch while I work on these videos. So look forward to more videos today, and check out both our streams. I'm going to leave a link down in the description so that way you can check it out. But besides that, talk to you guys later.